Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening or in the morning for some of our students for our webinar today on the Passport program in Career Stamp here at Olin. And before we get started, I want to cover some housekeeping matters. I want to make sure that everyone is set up to enjoy today's presentation. So I've gone ahead and muted everyone's microphone so that we can reduce background noise. And if anyone is having trouble hearing me, either throughout the presentation or right now, please use the raise your hand function, or you can go ahead and send me a chat box message so that I can help you as best that I can. And so just to let everyone know as well that this webinar will be recorded. And so if you need to leave early for any reason, please don't worry. We will send you the recorded link via email as soon as it becomes available. And also, throughout today's presentation, we will be taking questions. We'll mainly address them at the end of the presentation, but please feel free to leave your questions in the Q&A function at any time. And if it doesn't seem like your question benefits the larger group, or we run out of time to answer everyone's questions, we'll be sure to follow up with you directly by next week. Well, wonderful. Well, now I'd like to introduce myself and our other presenters for today. My name is Colton Richardson. I'm a graduate programs recruiter here focusing in specialized master's programs, and I've been with Olin for just about 6 months now.
My name is Joe Corey. I am also a graduate programs recruiter here at Olin, specializing in our specialized master's portfolio, and I am new to Olin as of this semester.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura Hollabaugh. I'm an academic advisor here in the graduate programs office. I have worked with the specialized programs for 10 years as of next month. And I work with a team of other advisors, the academic advising team, Nate Quest, Christy Collins, and I. We are your support in the graduate programs office once you arrive. Look forward to getting to know you. And just FYI, I'm an undergraduate alum.
Hi everyone, I'm Sally Michael. I'm a lecturer in business communication, and I've been here at Olin for 5 years. And I have worked with a specialized master's program that entire 5 years. So I will be the one that you will be seeing in July in the classroom. So I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you.
Well, wonderful. And so as you guys can see, you have some experts in the room. So hopefully we have some great information for you today. For today's agenda, what we'd really like to cover with our time together is what is the Passport program and what is Career Stamp? What are these different programs that you're going to have to attend this summer? We're going to talk about some student outcomes, some things that we see from students and what they hope to achieve throughout the program, and then some next steps for any of you who may be admitted or maybe admitted and enrolled and want to join us a little bit more throughout the spring. We'll have some great things for you to do after today. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Laura and Sally to cover a little bit more about our Passport program in Career Stamp.
All right, I think that's my cue. This is Sally, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background on both these programs, the Passport program and Career Stamp. At the core of both of these programs is communication. By that I mean writing, speaking, and nonverbal communication. And during these programs, this Passport and Career Stamp, we're not going to be focusing so much on conceptual ideas of communication, but practical applications. So in the Passport program, we are going to be practicing your ability to improve English, to interact in the classroom, to write case essays, and that will allow you to move on to the career program. And the reason why we think this is all important, why do we? Well, basically because you are all coming here to expand and improve your opportunities for a career. And you are here to learn some skills. One of those skills is communication. If all of you were to Google right now, what are some of the major skills that are key to professional success? You're going to see at the top of that list, communication skills. That's why we think this is so important, because you will need this not only to succeed at Olin, but as you pursue your career. So what are we going to do in these? Well, at the Passport program, The idea is, and as you can see on the screen, enhance your communication skills. What exactly does that mean? We want to, at the core, improve your self-confidence. If any of you have any issues about speaking English, this is where we want to take care of those, because you are going to be moving into a classroom that is very interactive, and participation is vital to your success in that class. And we want you to be comfortable there. We want you to be able to speak very concisely, to get to the point, and to speak professionally. What does that mean? How am I supposed to speak professionally? How do I interact with others? All of those things will be covered in the Passport program. To gain U.S. business exposure, if you plan to pursue a career in the United States, or even as you move through your career, you'll be working with people that work in a U.S. company. What does that mean? How is it different? Is it different? Those are the types of areas that I think the Passport program will demonstrate. And lastly, in the Passport program, hopefully this is the fun part, the finding out more about St. Louis. St. Louis is my hometown, and it's very important to me that when you spend your time here, that you enjoy it. It's a great city. It's easy to get around in, and I hope to show you some of the highlights of it. One of my favorites is the St. Louis Zoo, which is recently just chosen by TripAdvisor as the best zoo in the country. It's also I believe the 4th best zoo in the world. So this is an awesome experience that I hope you enjoy. And U.S. culture, I'm sure all of you have some background on U.S. culture. Do any of you watch Friends? Possibly. Do you watch Game of Thrones? That may not be U.S. culture exactly, but there's something similar to it. And we're going to talk all about that. So then we move into Career Stamp. And how does Passport support Career Stamp? You can't find a job without using your communication skills. And at the base of that, you have to have a strong resume and a powerful cover letter. Those are the 2 tools that we'll be working on in Career Stamp, as well as developing professional self-awareness. What does that mean? You have to know what you bring to the table. So when you walk into that interview and you're asked, tell me something that is not on your resume, you are ready to answer. You know what skills you bring, what value you bring. And finally, again, we get to practice. We're going to bring in some alums, we're going to bring in some local business folks, and you are going to interact with them. This is all part of the Passport program and Career Stamp. It's not just sitting in a classroom listening to me talk. That's not a whole lot of fun for you. It is very interactive. So you'll be talking to each other, you'll be talking to alums and local business people.
I want to chime in here. This is Laura again. We're very excited that you'll be joining us at Olin. We know that you're bright and motivated, excited to be joining us to begin your graduate degrees. And here, we really want each student to grow on every level during your time here. Academically, of course, but also we want you to grow. We know you can grow professionally and personally too. Not only does this approach, using Passport and Career Stamp as your launching pad for your experiences here, not only does this approach help you reach your full potential, but these are the kinds of experiences and the preparation that will help you be prepared for what employers are looking for too. It's not just about a higher GPA. That helped you get here, but that's not what's going to be most important going forward. So whether you're starting a 2-semester or a 3-semester program, your degree is meant to be transformative. But because your degree is shorter than some other master's degrees, and they move fast once the first semester begins, your days are going to be filled with classes and homework pretty quickly, and it'll be harder to find time for your professional and personal development, which again are so important in the long run. So, because the job search begins right away, we want you to have this pre-program experience. The first career fair at Olin is called Meet the Firms, when about 100 employers will be on campus ready to meet students like you. That happens so fast. and as early as the second week of classes. Some employers could be interested in connecting with students the first week of classes. So that's why Passport and Career Stamp are scheduled before the semester begins. They're followed by an S&P Start experience, that's the orientation week, and then the fall semester picks up after that. So Passport and Career Stamp, I just want to reiterate, those are your pre-program experiences to help you be as prepared as possible for both your classes and what's ahead, so you can maximize all of your opportunities in the job market, even as soon as the semester begins.
Wonderful. Thank you, Laura. Next, talking about some of those student experiences that we hope for students to gain and go through in the program.
Some of these are business associated, some of them are cultural associated, but the idea is to just offer a variety. So during Passport, we have invited Judy Shen-Filerman, who is the CEO of DreamBridge Partners, to come and speak. She often comes to campus every summer and speaks to our incoming students. She has great background in business. She's also dare I say it, a graduate from Harvard Business School. And she has wonderful knowledge and experience about the transition that international students go through. She will be a great addition to the program. And as I mentioned, we're going to do some sightseeing around St. Louis. The Gateway Arch is possibly on the list. It will sort of maybe possibly be up to you. We'll see what we can fit in that time. We're going to try to squeeze in a lot. We're going to have a networking event that includes alums and local business people. And of course, the polar bear is on the list. We have a brand new polar bear exhibit at the zoo. And even in July, when it can get kind of warm here, he will be out there probably taking a bath in his cool pool. So we have a variety of experiences planned for all of you. We hope you enjoy all of them, including a global business lunch, which will include alums and business folks. So we're looking forward to showing you around St. Louis.
This is Laura again. I want to chime in this time also to reinforce kind of the value of all these student experiences through Passport and Career Stamp, and how that translates forward thinking in the rest of your experience, your time at Olin. You already know that the programs that you've been enrolled in, you're joining us for, are rigorous. And you've already heard, I'm sure, that the U.S. job market is competitive these days. So as a way to address that and empower you around that, these experiences that we offer, starting with Passport and Career Stamp, and then compounded, expanded on by the experiences you'll have as a student. We want you to have as an expansive graduate degree journey as possible. Just be prepared as possible for that journey. And what I would say to you from a student advising's perspective is that the students who thrive at Olin the most, and the ones who are ultimately more successful in their job search, are the ones who do want to maximize their opportunities and experiences both inside and outside the classroom. I'm extrapolating a little bit beyond Passport and Career Stamp, but I want to speak to this because we see how the outcomes really are impacted by that approach, where I know I'm pretty good at a lot of this. I might have some good background even in the US, but I can get better. And when we see that approach, we see big results. This applies whether you've studied in the US before or you're here for the first time. The students that stand out both in the classroom and with employers are the ones who do seek out these experiences, that wouldn't want to miss these kinds of programs, and that they're willing to get outside their comfort zone. I just spoke with a student today who was talking about how they're going out to a new part of St. Louis to explore it because they hadn't been out off campus for a while, and they wanted to make sure they got to see more of the city. So programs like this will start that momentum for you, and we hope you take full advantage of it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And so now I want to go through a few of those common questions that we receive from students about the Passport program and about Career Stamp. And so one of the biggest questions we get is who is required, or who is it required for? And so really this is for every single one of our International Specialized Master's Program students is required to attend these programs. And hopefully throughout the last 20 minutes or so, we've talked about a lot of these experiences that you're going to have and the opportunities that you get from this program, from the Passport program and Career Stamp, that will make this a transformative experience for you. We're really hoping to see this as a chance for you to grow and to really find yourself to prepare for that master's program. And another one that we get, Joe and myself quite a bit, is do I have to attend the entire program? And the answer to that one is yes, you do have to attend the entire program. As Laura and Sally talked about, each day will encompass different activities that are meant to help you improve both personally and professionally. So missing one day can be a hindrance to you. So you will need to be there for the entirety of the program. And then hopefully throughout this last 20 minutes, we've talked about how these programs will help you be successful. Laura talked about that experience that she's had with students after their program or during their program, that I've even been in the office with Laura a few times and heard students say that they wish they would have had a program like this or a little bit more preparation to go into their degree. And so hopefully during this entire time, these programs are going to help you be successful by, as Sally mentioned, improving those skills that we know you can improve upon in a way to help you put the best foot forward. And so those are just some of those common questions that we get throughout the program. As I mentioned, we'll be taking questions a little bit later, but hopefully that helps you see a little bit of that bigger picture around Passport and Career Stamp.
Just to point out a few of the resources you already might have at your disposal, you should have received links to our campus group pages with your admissions packet. And in there is a wealth of information and knowledge, a lot of information in there. I would consider reviewing it over and over because there's so much in there that will help you out. A lot of your questions, if you look back at campus pages, chances are the second time you look, you'll find it. So make sure you're checking these pages quite frequently. I just wanted to point out a couple dates. So the international SMP students, they will report to the Passport program on July the 16th, with Career Stamp starting 2 weeks later on August the 6th. So those are the two big dates you need to work out or look out for on this page. And then, of course, again, just can't reiterate enough, check campus groups early and often. All the information you'll need is there. It's very dense. It's an absolutely wonderful resource for you. Just make sure you review your academic calendar for all of the important dates. That's for MBA and especially SMP students. Again, just to reiterate on those important dates, July 1st, that's when our Blackboard classes, our foundation courses will kick off online on Blackboard. And then, of course, again, July 16th is the start of the Passport program, with Career Stamp starting shortly thereafter on August the 6th.
If you have any questions about the calendar, feel free to let us know, either in questions now or in emails back to our staff here. We're happy to help clarify any of your questions about your academic calendar and those key experiences, key dates for you to take note of. Some of those apply to specific programs, so please take note of which ones apply to you and your program. But everyone will participate in Passport, Career Stamp, and then fast forward foundations requirements that apply. And fast forward, you'll see the onboarding week of August 20th through August 24th. That's SMP Start, when we'll have the orientation experiences where you'll get together. The whole group will get together, and then also we'll have some cohort-specific events during that week as well. So you start getting to meet your classmates from your own program.
Wonderful. Thank you, Laura. And then just to give you some of those next steps or some events that you might want to join us for in this next month or so, just as a reminder for any of our students who are interested in our financial services, we do have an admitted student webinar that will be this Friday, April 13th. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to go and register for that event. You should have received a notification about that, but if you'd like to, or maybe misplaced that registration page, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll make sure you get that link. And then also for our graduate programs webinar on next week, we'll have one on our research centers here at Olin, which play a key part in a lot of the student experiences for our specialized master's program students. Any of our students who are in the U.S., we have an admitted student weekend here, April 20th through the 22nd, so that's next weekend. And so that one's for any of our students who want to join us on campus. And then our round 3 admitted student deposit deadline. So anyone in round 3 that might be listening or is still needing to deposit, that round 3 deadline is April 25th. Another series of events that Laura and I wanted to talk about and make sure that we let you know about is our program-specific webinars that will be specific for each of the different degrees. Joe and I will be reaching out to you a little bit later, but those will be much more specific on curriculum, Laura, if I'm correct, curriculum and other experiences that you'll have in your program specific. So we'll be reaching out to each of you individually for that a little bit later on.
Yeah, thanks. Those will be really helpful to understand more about your particular courses and how to select take care of course registration that happens over this summer. You'll be hearing from us and the student services from the student services team about course registration, and so this webinar will help you know what to expect there.
Wonderful. All right. Well, that brings us closer to our time for this evening. So I'd like to spend just a few minutes just answering some questions that you have. So again, if you'd like to ask a question now, if you can think of it, please feel free to leave it in the question and answer box. Or if you think of something like I do often after having conversations, 5 minutes after we go away, you can always email us at olingradadmissions@wustl.edu. And we'll make sure to respond to that question as well. And so I do see that we have one question here in the Q&A box. And so for foundation workshops for students, yes, what if I've already taken or studied those classes during my undergraduate? Can I waive these classes? So no, the foundation courses are required of each of the students. I often like to tell students if you are very mastered in the material, then they shouldn't be an issue for you to go through. They are a self-paced process that you'll go through, so you can accelerate through them into the ending of the foundation workshop, but they are required of each student. Thank you so much for your question, Tong. All right, another one of my questions, and for a little bit broader, so for whoever asked, for I-20 materials, that's one that you should have received that information as well. Once you deposit, it can take a little bit of time, but please, if you have deposited and it's been more than a week's time, please feel free to reach out to us and we can follow up on that information where that might be. All right. And Yingwan, I will be happy to follow up on that question a little bit later on. I had some questions about foundation courses. Oh, and that one will kind of work a little bit more in general. And so foundation courses and how they apply to your GPA. Laura, is that one that you kind of want to speak a little bit more on?
I can just mention that the foundation requirements are actually online workshops style. You may hear us refer to them as courses, but think of them as pre-programmed preparation to make sure all of you are ready for the rigor of your program, and just give you a refresher in some cases, but to be ready for the fast pace and the content you'll be seeing in the fall semester. They're graded by an on-site, an on-campus exam when you arrive. There'll be an exam here on campus. The dates will be in the academic calendar in the near future with an update to come. And those grades, the grading of it, is pass-fail. So you will need to pass these exams. That's the requirement, is a passing grade. The threshold is usually in the 60 to 70% range. So a P is all that's needed, and that does appear on your in your record, your transcript, as a milestone that you've accomplished, a requirement that you've completed. But the pass does not impact your GPA, but it is needed in order to graduate.
Thank you so much, Laura. All right, let's see here. And so For the Passport program accommodations, it is one that you would arriving early for your fall start. So accommodations are not provided for our international students during the Passport program. And so that is one you would need to work with your future housing options to start a little bit earlier than that August class beginning time. So you are required to be in St. Louis for the start of the program in July. So you would need to have your own accommodations for that time. All right, and so Feng Yu, yes. So even for students, international students who have been in the U.S. for an undergraduate degree and achieve that degree, and any of those situations, all international S&P students would be required to participate in the Passport program.
Yeah, I would venture to say that you're probably going to have some wonderful qualities and some advantages maybe because of your rich background, but I would also challenge you to think in terms of what can I improve? Where can I get better? How can I be more prepared to know what to expect in the classroom and in the job market? Because it is tough on both sides. And if you're new to the university, there's still a lot to acclimate to. So I look forward to seeing how you can grow because I'm sure there are ways you can actually benefit, and the opportunity for you will be to find the nuggets in Passport and Career Stamp that work best for you.
And to add on to what Laura just said, I teach over 200 specialized master's students. These students are a mix: domestic students, international students who are in the US for the first time, and international students who have studied in the US in their undergrad program. All of them benefit by the additional practice. There's no reason why these programs would not benefit you, even if you did go to undergrad here in the US. I strongly encourage you to view them, as Laura said, as opportunities to practice. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you in class.
Thank you, Sally.
Good questions.
Yeah, great questions. And then we do have some questions about costs and how the programs will be billed. And so that will be one that you will see on your bill for that fall. So it's not one that you have to pay for the experience before. It's added into that fall billing that you'll receive.
Over and above tuition, correct?
Yes. And so there is additional cost for Passport and Career Stamp that will be defined for you on that fall bill. But it is one that is included in that fall bill, not a prepayment. All right, let's see here. And there will be some instructions on those foundation courses coming before they start. It will be one that you'll receive that information going through the end of that spring semester before you arrive on campus. Wonderful. And I think one of our last questions for today is going to be more about that information that you'll receive. So hopefully today you've received some information that really shows you that value of the program, and it tells you a little bit more about what we hope for you to achieve and go through.
Oh, absolutely. That schedule for the Passport program and Career Stamp will be posted. You will see what is going to be happening every day. Yeah. Also, keep in mind that your days will be split in two. So it's not an all-day program. Some of you will have morning sessions. Some of you will have afternoon sessions. And all of this will be posted, and you'll know exactly what to expect.
Wonderful. And so just be on that lookout, like I said, going through the end of that spring semester. Before you arrive, you'll be receiving some more information. Wonderful. And so for any of the other questions that we have here, I will make sure to follow up with anyone a little bit later on. You'll be receiving all of that information about Passport, about Career Stamp, about the Passport program, about Career Stamp, about foundations. That'll all be coming a little bit more. And this is also another opportunity that I want to take to plug those program webinars that we'll be having and a little bit more in the future, that Joe and I will be reaching out for you with more information. Those are very vital chances for you to get to know more about your program and meet with those advisors that will have the experience with maybe for a year or 18 months. So to getting to know them a little bit early as well. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for taking some time to be with us. I know it's either later in the evening if you're in the US or abroad, it's probably early in the morning. And so I appreciate you taking the time. And again, if you have any questions after today, please feel free to reach out to that Olin Grad Admissions email address. We'd be happy to answer them. But if not, hopefully we will see you in the summer when you arrive on campus. Have a fantastic rest of your day.